Germany is facing rising infection rates, including serious cases of coronavirus that require hospitalization. Meanwhile, the pace of vaccination is slower, yet Germany is hesitant to impose restrictions on unvaccinated people. Unlike some of its European neighbors, there are practical, cultural and political reasons for this. And for those details, let's turn to William Glucroft, correspondent with our partner DW in Berlin. William, what are the differences in treatment for vaccinated and unvaccinated people in Germany right now?
Well, right now, there are not huge differences between those vaccinated and unvaccinated. It's about 60% of the population fully vaccinated and about 40% who are not yet. Right now, to access most things in public life in Germany, it's good enough to get a test to show that you're negative. So you don't only need to be vaccinated or be recently recovered from the virus. But that might change going into the weeks and months ahead. We already know that starting in October, tests will no longer be free. So if you're going to continue being unvaccinated or you're not recently recovered, you're going to have to pay out of pocket to get that test to still be able to go into things like restaurants and public life.
Well, why does it seem unlikely that Germany won't get even tougher on unvaccinated people?
Well, of course, data privacy and health data is very, very important here in Germany. It's some of the most sensitive personal data you can have, and people are very careful about who knows what about people's health status. And that's part of the pressure to protect people who are unvaccinated from having to tell people about their health status. Now, there's already been a proposal to force people to be vaccinated or get tests or be recently recovered, to have proof of that, just to ride a train or get on an airplane in Germany. That plan, however, has so far failed. Now there's an effort to allow employers to ask their employees about their vaccine status. That is ruffling a lot of feathers, especially among unions and worker rights groups. But most or many German officials are saying it is possible, although there, again, is strong protections of data privacy when it comes to health data. There are legal ways to essentially force employees to tell their employers if they are vaccinated or not. And that's currently the debate, just how much offices and workers will have to tell people about their vaccine status to be able to go to work.
So how many health officials are trying to promote vaccination among those who still haven't gotten a shot?
Well, in addition to some of the sticks we're seeing, some of these rules that are being threatened, especially the idea that tests are no longer going to be free starting in October, there's also carrots. Maybe one of the biggest ones is just this week in Berlin, there was what was called the Impfzug, the vaccination train. There's a commuter rail that runs around Berlin, and there was a special train put into operation that exactly like a normal commuter rail, went around the city and people could get on and off at the stops. And in that train, there were doctors and nurses who were giving vaccinations without appointments. You could just step on and get them. And it seemed to be quite effective. Many people took this opportunity. And there are other kinds of gimmicks out there, you could say, to get people vaccinated. There's been a relationship with the club scene here in Berlin, for example, to get especially younger people vaccinated. Many young people feel hesitant to get vaccines. They feel safe. But if they want to go back clubbing, they might have to get a vaccine. And that's another way, for example, they've been trying to encourage people to get vaccinated.
That's quite interesting. Germany's attempt to deal with unvaccinated people the way they're doing. But William Glucroft is with DW, our partners in Berlin.